The massive space station floated in the void like a silver gem against the stars. Council Station Alpha stood as the heart of galactic authority, where 7 alien species had ruled for over 3,000 years. The station rotated slowly above the neutral world of Kepler Prime, its countless lights flickering as ships arrived and departed from the docking bays. Inside the Grand Council chambers, Ambassador Thalar faced the vast amphitheater where the 7 ruling species held their seats. His reptilian figure, 8 feet tall and sheathed in dark green scales that gleamed under the chamber's brilliance, radiated authority. Yellow eyes swept the gathering while his forked tongue flicked, tasting the air. The Vorak had always served as the Council's military arm, and today's Thalar brought news that would define their next campaign. "Honored Council members," Thalar began, his deep hissing voice echoing through the chamber. "Our surveillance of the Sol system continues to confirm what we have long suspected. The humans remain a primitive species, barely capable of crude spaceflight." Supreme Chancellor Orthamaya shifted upon her crystalline throne, her translucent body scattering the chamber's light into rainbows across the walls. Leader of the Council for 2 centuries, the Ethereal's patience with lesser species had thinned over time. "Show us the latest intelligence, Ambassador," she said sharply. "The Council grows weary of these primitives who dare exist in our galaxy without permission." Seth Keller activated the holographic array at the chamber's center. Images of Earth materialized, blue oceans, green continents, white swirling clouds. Some counselors murmured softly, though not in admiration. They saw not beauty, but resources awaiting claim. "The humans number roughly 8 billion on their homeworld," Thalar continued. "Their technology is laughably basic. Fusion power achieved, yet they still burn fossil fuels. Their weapons rely on chemical propellants and primitive missiles. Beyond Earth, they hold only 3 colonies, each struggling to maintain life support." Representative Claxmore of the insectoid Krillax species clicked his mandibles in amusement. His compound eyes glimmered as he rasped, 3 colonies in 50 years of space travel? My youngest offspring could conquer them with a single trade fleet. Laughter echoed among the counselors. The towering Gorvani delegate, his rocky frame like living stone, rumbled his approval. The shimmering gaseous Nexari flickered with contemptuous hues. Even the cautious Zetherian ambassador, her translucent form barely visible, betrayed no concern over humanity's presence. Thalar gestured toward new holograms of human starships. Bulky, crude designs appeared primitive beside the Council's sleek fleets. Their largest warships carry fewer than 200 crew and wield weapons incapable of piercing even our smallest patrol craft. Intelligence estimates their entire military fleet at perhaps 30 vessels, none able to withstand a minor skirmish against proper galactic technology. Supreme Chancellor Orthamaya rose, her crystalline form scattering the chamber in prisms of light. "We have monitored them long enough. Their system holds rare minerals and a world ideal for agriculture. Preliminary biology suggests they would serve well as laborers on our rim-world mining colonies." A ripple of agreement swept the chamber. The Council had expanded galactic civilization for millennia by absorbing or enslaving hundreds of species. Over the millennia had become routine, almost dull in its predictability. A newly discovered race would be assessed, then either inducted as junior members of galactic society or assigned labor roles serving the Council's ambitions. "I propose immediate annexation of the Sol system," Orthamaya declared. "We will relocate the human population to facilities where they may contribute to galactic prosperity. Their homeworld will be repurposed for agriculture, while their colonies will be strip-mined for resources." Thalar inclined his reptilian head. "The First Fleet stands ready, Supreme Chancellor. Admiral Krexthor assures me pacifying the human colonies will require no more than a single standard cycle. They lack both the technology and the military skill to mount meaningful resistance." The vote proceeded with mechanical precision. Each species cast approval for annexation, treating the fate of 8 billion humans as a trivial administrative formality. The Vorak would handle military operations, the Krillak's resource extraction, while the remaining species divided administrative duties for yet another conquered territory. Far beyond Council Station Alpha's sensor range, Captain Jake Morrison observed the proceedings through surveillance technology undetectable by alien systems. The UHS Defiance drifted in silence, its hull reflecting no light, emitting no heat trace Galactic sensors could detect. Morrison's weathered features betrayed no emotion as the Council discussed humanity's enslavement. But his fists clenched, hard around his command chair's armrests. "Captain," Navigator Lisa Chen said softly. "Transmission is clear. Recording complete." Morrison nodded, gaze fixed on the holographic chamber feed. At the weapons station, Ryan Torres checked his console for the 100th time, jaw tight with restrained fury as alien voices condemned his species. "All stealth systems nominal, Captain," Chief Engineer Amy Brooks reported quietly from engineering. "They still have no idea we're here." At last, Morrison turned from the display. His crew's eyes followed, aware the next hours would decide not just their lives, but humanity's future. He had trained 15 years for this moment. Yet, the weight still pressed heavy across his shoulders. "Communications," Morrison ordered evenly. "Priority transmission to Admiral Hayes. Full encryption. Quantum burst protocol." Lucy Martinez's fingers flew across her console. "Channel open, Captain. Ready for transmission." Morrison glanced once more at the alien council, their celebration already underway. Orthamaya was setting invasion timetables, while Ambassador Zathalar promised swift annihilation of human resistance. "Message begins," Morrison said flatly. "Council votes immediate annexation of Sol system. Human population relocation confirmed. Homeworld conversion authorized. First fleet deployment under Admiral Krexthor approved. Recommend full implementation of Revelation Protocol." He hesitated, knowing his next words W. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, hiding its true capabilities from the galaxy. Now the time for secrecy was over. "Message ends," Morrison ordered. "Send it." 20 years earlier, the asteroid mining vessel New Horizon drifted through the belt between Mars and Jupiter on what should have been a routine ore collection mission. Captain Bill Carter had commanded mining operations for 8 years, and nothing about the day suggested it would be different. His crew of 12 monitored automated systems that fractured asteroids and separated valuable metals from useless rock. The discovery began when mining specialist Tony Rodriguez spotted something unusual on the scanner. A massive object drifted among the asteroids, but its composition didn't match any known formation. The shape was far too precise, too smooth to be natural. "Captain," Tony called, "you need to see this. There's something out here that doesn't belong." Carter studied the scanner readouts. The object measured nearly 300 meters long and perfectly symmetrical. More importantly, it was artificial. Someone had built this and abandoned it in their system. "Could be an old Earth ship," Carter muttered, though he knew no human vessel had ever been built on such a scale. "Or maybe a probe from another star system." For 6 hours, the crew approached, cautiously. As the object loomed closer, it became clear this was no human creation. The hull used materials unknown to any database, and the design featured smooth curves blending into complex geometric patterns that shifted depending on perspective. Dr. Elena Rodriguez led the first boarding team through a newly cut access point. The ship's interior was dark, silent, its corridors stretching impossibly far, as though defying exterior dimensions. Emergency lights flickered alive as the team advanced, responding to their presence as though guided by some dormant intelligence. "The architecture is extraordinary," Dr. Rodriguez whispered. "These materials, it looks like the ship grew itself rather than being assembled." At the vessel's core, crystalline processors lined the walls of a massive chamber. Inactive yet strangely elegant, they awakened with soft pulses of light when Dr. Rodriguez touched the controls. Data revealed the vessel belonged to a race calling themselves the Architects, beings who had crossed the galaxy millions of years earlier, leaving relics on countless worlds before mysteriously vanishing. This ship had drifted for over 2 million years, patiently awaiting reactivation. Secretly transported to a Martian research facility, the vessel became the obsession of physicist Dr. Kevin Walsh. Months of study revealed something astonishing. Architect systems were built to interface directly with organic neural patterns. It's as if the technology expects living minds, Walsh told colleague Dr. Megan Foster. But not just any minds, it's searching for specific neural configurations, certain ways of processing information. Volunteers from the military tested the neural interfaces. Most felt only headaches. A few activated minor systems, but control remained unstable until Lieutenant Colonel Dan Parker stepped forward. The instant Parker connected, everything changed. The system didn't merely respond, it amplified him. His awareness expanded beyond the lab, sensing ships, stations, even distant probes across the solar system. "I can see everything," Parker murmured. "The entire system. It's like a map inside my head." Thought alone controlled Architect systems with impossible precision. Parker could manipulate matter at molecular scales, bend energy fields that defied known physics, and process information at inconceivable speeds. Dr. Foster soon realized humanity's adaptability made them uniquely compatible. Where the Architects had been logical and methodical, humans were intuitive, innovative. "We're not just using their technology," she reported to the secret committee. "We're evolving it. The systems are learning from us, merging Architect science with human ingenuity." 5 years after discovery, the first hybrid vessel launched from a hidden shipyard beyond Pluto. Sleek and predatory, its hull fused human engineering with Architect materials. Under Parker's command, the ship responded as though it were part of him. Admiral Patricia Hayes assumed overall command as more vessels followed. They could vanish from detection, bend physics itself, and unleash weapons capable of rewriting matter's structure. The fleet grew slowly. 5 massive dreadnoughts, supported by 12 cruisers and 36 destroyers, crewed by humans bonded to Architect systems, a force unlike anything the galaxy had ever witnessed. 2 years before the council meeting, Captain Jake Morrison took command of the stealth vessel UHS Defiance. His mission: observe galactic powers, learn their capabilities, and report to Admiral Hayes. Using refined Architect stealth, the Defiance became invisible to all known detection systems, enabling Morrison to watch potential enemies undetected. As the Council voted humanity's enslavement, Morrison knew 20 years of secret preparation faced its final test. Mankind had become something new, something powerful, yet had remained hidden until now. That era was ending. Admiral Krexthor stood aboard the Vortag flagship Dominator as his first fleet prepared for departure. The massive reptilian commander, veteran of 100 campaigns, found humanity's conquest almost insultingly simple. 200 warships surrounded his flagship, including 3 dreadnoughts undefeated in battle. "Admiral," reported his tactical officer, "all ships report ready for jump to the human system. Estimated arrival in 6 standard hours." Krexthor inclined his scaled head, studying tactical projections of human space. Intelligence suggested the primitive species possessed no more than 30 combat vessels defending their entire civilization, most clustered around their homeworld, leaving distant colonies virtually defenseless. "Begin jump sequence," Krexthor ordered. "Signal the fleet. This operation will conclude within 2 cycles. Once they witness resistance is futile, the humans will surrender." Moments later, the first fleet vanished into hyperspace, leaving Council Station Alpha humming with celebration. Delegates already debated how best to divide human territories among themselves. Supreme Chancellor Orthamea ordered preparations for a victory feast. Confident conquest would be swift. Aboard the UHS Defiance, Captain Jake Morrison watched the fleet disappear. For weeks, his stealth ship had monitored Council Station Alpha, collecting intelligence on galactic military strength. Now, observation ended. Action began. "Lisa," Morrison called to his navigator, "plot a course placing us within visual range of the station's observation deck. When we decloak, I want them to see us clearly." Navigator Lisa Chen worked quickly, her displays showing readings alien science would deem impossible. "Course plotted, Captain. We'll appear directly in front of their primary sensor array." At the weapons station, Ryan Torres completed his final checks. The plan didn't call for firing today. This demonstration demanded subtlety, not destruction. "All weapons ready, Captain. Safeties engaged as ordered." Chief Engineer Amy Brooks monitored stealth systems so advanced the aliens couldn't detect even the gravitational wake of their passage. "Cloaking at full power, Captain. Ready to decloak on your mark." Morrison took a deep breath, aware of the moment's weight. For 20 years, humanity had lived in secret, fearing discovery by a galaxy that might enslave or eradicate them. Today, that fear ended. "All stations, prepare for decloak," Morrison ordered. "Lisa, bring us to coordinates. Amy, drop stealth on my signal." The UHS Defiance glided forward like a hunting predator, its sleek hybrid hull cutting silently through the void toward the unsuspecting station. Alien ships came and went from docking bays, oblivious to the threat approaching undetected. "Position achieved, Captain," Lisa reported. "Range, 2,000 meters. Dead center in front of their main sensor array." Morrison rose from his command chair, smoothing his uniform. This moment would echo through history. Humanity would meet the galaxy with dignity and strength. "All hands," he said over the intercom. "Today we reveal ourselves. Today we show the galaxy humanity will not be enslaved. Amy, drop cloak. Lucy, open a channel to the station." The UHS Defiance erupted from nothingness, materializing like a ghost made flesh. Its obsidian hull caught starlight and burned. "The human system. Estimated arrival in 6 standard hours." Krexor inclined his scaled head, studying the tactical displays of human space. Intelligence reports suggested the primitive species possessed barely 30 combat vessels defending their entire civilization. Most clustered near their homeworld, leaving the outer colonies virtually unguarded. "Begin the jump sequence," Krexor ordered. "Signal all ships. This operation concludes within 2 cycles. The humans will surrender once they see resistance is futile." The first fleet vanished into hyperspace, leaving Council Station Alpha celebrating. Alien dignitaries were already discussing how to divide the resources of the soon-to-be-conquered human territories. Supreme Chancellor Orthamea called for a victory feast to await the fleet's return. Captain Jake Morrison watched the alien armada disappear into hyperspace and made his choice. For weeks, the UHS Defiance had remained hidden. Near the Council Station, gathering intelligence on galactic military power. Observation was over. Action would begin. "Plot a course to bring us within visual range of their main observation deck," Morrison ordered his navigator. "I want them to see us clearly when we decloak." Navigator Lisa Chen's fingers flew over controls, displaying readings impossible for anyone trained on conventional tech. "Course plotted, Captain. We'll appear directly before their primary sensor array." Weapons Officer Ryan Torres checked his systems once more, though he knew no shots would be fired today. Humanity's plan called for subtlety, not slaughter. "Weapons ready, Captain. Safety protocols engaged." Chief Engineer Amy Brooks monitored the stealth systems, keeping them hidden. Alien sensors couldn't even detect the gravitational signature of their ship's mass. "Cloaking at full power, Captain. Ready to decloak on your mark." Morrison exhaled slowly, feeling the weight of what was about to unfold. For 20 years, humanity had lived in secret fear of the galaxy. Certain discovery meant slavery or extinction. Today, that fear would end. All stations, prepare to decloak. Lisa, take us in. Amy, stand by. The UHS Defiance moved like a hunting predator, its sleek frame cutting through the dark toward the unsuspecting alien station. Morrison watched vessels come and go from docking bays, their crews oblivious to the predator approaching. Position achieved, Lisa reported. Range 2,000 meters, directly in front of their main sensor array. Morrison rose from his chair, uniform immaculate. This moment would mark human history forever. All hands. This is the captain. Today, we reveal ourselves to the galaxy. Today, we show them humanity will not kneel. Amy, drop the cloak. Lucy, open a channel. The UHS Defiance materialized from nothingness like a ghost made real, its alien-enhanced hull gleaming under the station's lights, visible now to thousands of stunned onlookers. All ships report ready for simultaneous decloak, Admiral. Commander Alex Turner announced from Tactical. The young officer had served under Hayes for 5 years, but this would be his first real combat operation against Galactic forces. Hayes nodded slowly, eyes fixed on the alien station dominating. The view screen, thousands of beings lived and worked inside that massive structure, none realizing they were surrounded by the most advanced military force the galaxy had ever seen. In moments, their entire understanding of power would shatter. Signal all. Vessels, Hayes ordered. Execute decloak protocol in 30 seconds. I want perfect synchronization across the fleet. The countdown began as 36 human captains prepared to reveal themselves. Each ship held a precise position, calculated to showcase tactical dominance and flawless coordination. The aliens would learn humanity possessed not only advanced technology, but the skill to wield it with terrifying precision. Decloak in 10 seconds, Turner called out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, execute! The human fleet erupted into view like predators from the void. Sleek dreadnoughts loomed above and below the station, while cruisers locked into strategic formations. Destroyers filled the gaps, forming a perfect sphere of power with the alien stronghold at its heart. Inside the council chambers, panic exploded. Representatives shouted over one another, trying to comprehend the impossible readings on their consoles. 36 warships had appeared from nowhere, radiating energy signatures defying every known law of physics. Supreme Chancellor Orthmaya's crystalline body blazed with fear as she demanded answers. How many ships? Where did they come from? Why didn't our sensors detect them? Ambassador Zatholar studied the tactical feeds with growing dread. 36 vessels, Supreme Chancellor. Unknown design, superior firepower. Representative Claxmore of the Krillax clicked his mandibles nervously. Their energy outputs exceed anything in the Galactic fleet. Each one rivals our largest space stations. On the Vindication's bridge, Commander Turner coordinated the next phase, a controlled display of human weapons technology. The goal was absolute clarity, overwhelming superiority without harming a single life. All ships, prepare to engage designated targets, Turner ordered. Precision only. Every shot must be perfect. The chosen targets were abandoned platforms, derelict research stations, and drifting communication arrays. Useless to the galaxy, perfect for demonstration. Commence, Admiral Hayes ordered. Show them what humanity can do. The human fleet opened fire. But these were no ordinary weapons. Beams of coherent energy struck targets, and matter itself unraveled. Metal twisted into impossible geometries, then dissolved into atoms that scattered like dust across the void. The precision was chilling. Every shot struck exactly where intended, controlled down to the molecular level. A 50-year-old comm relay vanished completely, broken apart into its base elements and dispersed into nothingness. From the Vindication, Dr. Elena Rodriguez addressed the Council through quantum channels, bypassing their primitive systems. Honored members of the Galactic Council, she said clearly. "You are not witnessing simple weapons fire. Humanity now manipulates matter and energy at the most fundamental level. Meanwhile, the fleet demonstrated impossible mobility. Warships accelerated, pivoted, and maneuvered in ways no conventional craft could survive, sliding through space like living beings, not machines. Our ships are not merely advanced technology," Rodriguez continued. "Human minds are integrated. With our systems, we think faster, react quicker, see farther. Patterns invisible to others are clear to us," Dr. Rodriguez continued. "This allows humanity to use technology in ways its creators never conceived." On cue, a human destroyer performed a maneuver so precise the entire council chamber fell silent. It swept within 50 meters of the station's hull, spiraling in a perfect arc before returning to its exact starting point. The precision was beyond anything Galactic pilots could even attempt. Admiral Hayes decided to showcase the next capability. "All ships, activate full defensive screens. Let's see how our systems handle their strongest sensors." Instantly, every scanner aboard the Council station focused on the human fleet, unleashing the most powerful detection beams in galactic science. Yet the readings returned nothing. Their energy washed against human shields and vanished as though swallowed by the void itself. Commander Turner confirmed the results. "Admiral, their scans are achieving zero penetration. Our systems aren't even registering strain." Meanwhile, hyperspace channels carried a desperate message to Admiral Krexthor, ordering the immediate retreat of all forces from human space. He refused to believe it, until his own analysts confirmed the horrifying truth. Hayes opened a direct channel to him, her voice carried across the gulf between fleets. "Admiral Krexthor, I am Admiral Patricia Hayes of the United Human Space Forces. You may wish to reconsider your current course. The Galactic Council is witnessing what humanity can do. I recommend avoiding unnecessary conflict." Data flooding Krexthor's screens erased any lingering doubts. The technology gap wasn't wide, it was absolute. Any engagement would mean total annihilation of his fleet. In the council chamber, Supreme Chancellor Orthamaya's voice trembled. "Human Captain, the Galactic Council requests immediate negotiations. Perhaps we acted too hastily regarding your species." Captain Morrison's reply was calm, measured, carrying the authority of someone who held every advantage. "Supreme Chancellor, humanity welcomes the opportunity for peaceful dialogue. Admiral Hayes will be pleased to discuss terms." The demonstration was over. The message was unmistakable. Humanity had emerged as the galaxy's dominant power. The ancient order had shattered. For the first time in its long history, the diplomatic wing of Council Station Alpha prepared to host negotiations not as victors, but as equals. Admiral Patricia Hayes walked the same corridors where countless species had once surrendered in humiliation. Today, the roles had reversed. Ambassador Carol Wright carried herself with quiet, unshakable confidence, the voice of humanity's first official envoy to galactic civilization. Captain Jake Morrison and Dr. Elena Rodriguez followed close behind, living symbols of military might and scientific brilliance. The negotiation chamber loomed vast and circular, its design emphasizing the Council's supposed supremacy. 7 alien civilizations sat in elevated tiers, looking down toward the center table, clearly meant for petitioners. Hayes regarded the setup with faint amusement before taking her seat without hesitation or deference. Supreme Chancellor Orthamaya's crystalline form had dimmed, the brilliant inner light replaced by unease. "Admiral Hayes," she began carefully, "the Galactic Council values your choice of diplomacy over immediate conquest. Perhaps reason can prevail between our peoples." Hayes smiled faintly as she activated a device projecting holographic displays above the table. Detailed intelligence appeared: military strengths, economic dependencies, political vulnerabilities, collected through decades of secret human surveillance. "Supreme Chancellor, Hayes began evenly. Let's be clear. There are no misunderstandings here. The Council voted to enslave humanity and strip our worlds bare. We observed, recorded, and now respond. Today isn't about clarifying intentions. It's about rewriting galactic politics. Ambassador Zathalar shifted uneasily as restricted. Vorak military data appeared in human holograms. How do you possess intelligence this classified? These files are impossible to access. Dr. Rodriguez finally spoke, her voice steady with the weight of long-hidden truths. Ambassador, our intelligence capabilities rival our military systems. For 20 years, we've studied your strengths, weaknesses, and ambitions. We know far more than you find comfortable. The implication rippled through the chamber. If humans gathered this much intelligence undetected, no council secret was safe. The balance of power had shifted irrevocably. Ambassador Wright opened formal negotiations with calm precision. Humanity will join galactic civilization only as equal partners. We demand full council membership with voting rights equal to yours. Representative Claxmore's mandibles clicked nervously. Full membership comes after centuries of service. No species has ever gained equal status upon first contact. Hayes gestured toward the viewports where the human fleet floated in flawless formation. Representative, our contribution to galactic security speaks for itself. We offer partnership, not conquest. That is generosity, not presumption. For hours, council leaders proposed limited memberships to preserve their dominance. Each offer was politely, firmly refused. Finally, Supreme Chancellor Orthamaya made one last attempt. Admiral Hayes, civilization requires structure, hierarchy. Sudden change threatens the stability maintained for millennia. Ambassador Wright responded by projecting classified records, exposing the reality of council peace. Supreme Chancellor, your history reveals systemic conquest and enslavement of over 400 species. 30 billion beings live under conditions humanity calls slavery. This is not peace, it's tyranny. Silence fell as human holograms displayed the Council's darkest secrets, mines where populations labored to death, agricultural worlds feeding conquerors, industrial planets turning slaves into living machinery. Humanity demands immediate reforms, Dr. Rodriguez added, beginning with universal liberation and fundamental rights for all sentience. The scope of change dawned on the Council. Humanity didn't just want membership, they intended to dismantle 3,000 years of domination. Ambassador Zathalar hissed bitterly, "You ask us to abandon everything our civilizations built. Economic collapse will sweep half the galaxy." Hayes projected detailed economic transition models. We anticipated that. Humanity will supply automation to replace slave labor, energy systems to end resource exploitation, and technology ensuring prosperity without conquest. Days of negotiations followed as council representatives surrendered their illusions of power. Humanity gained full membership with equal voting rights and veto power over all council actions. Treaties mandated liberation programs for enslaved populations and restricted advanced technology from future oppression. Human systems would fuel galactic economies, but under human oversight. Commander Sarah Johnson's arrival with reinforcements revealed the demonstrated fleet represented only a fraction of human strength. Council delegates understood resistance had been impossible from the start. Captain Morrison resumed command of the UHS Defiance, his mission transformed. No longer hiding in shadows gathering intelligence, humanity now patrolled galactic space as guardians, not petitioners. Civilization shifted overnight. Enslaved species stirred with hope. Former rulers learned survival as junior partners in their own empire. The old order hadn't fallen through conquest, but through the stunning revelation of human supremacy. One warship decloaked, and the galaxy would never be the same.